I stand at the threshold of the rising light, where darkness dissolves into the golden breath of becoming. I open myself to this sacred hour, to the liminal space where night surrenders its mysteries and the sun remembers its eternal purpose. I call upon the ancient presence that guides all awakenings, the scribe of cosmic law, the keeper of divine intelligence. I invoke Thoth, architect of consciousness, guardian of the words that shaped worlds before time learned to measure itself. I align my spirit with the luminous codes that flow through this morning hour, the vibrational frequencies that carried the first dawn into existence and continue to birth each new day from the womb of infinite potential. I recognize this moment. I honor this transition. I bow before the sacred geometry of light returning to reclaim the earth. I feel the stirring in my cells as they respond to the approaching radiance. My body knows this rhythm. It has known it since the first human drew breath beneath an awakening sky. I carry within me the memory of 10,000 dawns, encoded in my blood, written in the marrow of my bones, inscribed upon the subtle architecture of my energy body. I am not separate from this cosmic unveiling. I am woven into its fabric. I am threaded through its pattern. I breathe with the same eternal respiration that moves the sun across the heavens and pulls the ocean tides into their appointed dance. I prepare my inner temple to receive the blessing of this hour. I still the surface movements of my mind. I quiet the restless voices that cling to yesterday's concerns. I release my grip on the dreams that held me through the night and the fears that whispered through my sleeping hours. I create space within myself for the transmission that flows through every sunrise, the wordless teaching that arrives on wings of photons and cascades of electromagnetic harmony. I open the chambers of my heart to be flooded with the first light that breaks across the eastern horizon. This is not an ordinary awakening. This is a consecrated moment. This is a portal opening. This is the universe remembering itself through the vehicle of my consciousness. I acknowledge the profound intelligence that orchestrates this daily miracle. The sun does not rise by accident. The light does not return by chance. There is law governing this movement, ancient principle woven into the very structure of existence. As above, so below. As within, so without. The external dawn mirrors the eternal dawn that seeks to break within every human heart, the perpetual sunrise of awareness that waits patiently behind the clouds of forgetting, the veils of separation, the accumulated shadows of unconscious living. I align myself with this principle. I attune my vibration to this cosmic rhythm. I declare my readiness to receive the codes of illumination that flow through the morning light, like rivers of liquid gold, carrying the encrypted wisdom of the spheres. I call upon the presence of the divine scribe, the eternal witness who observed the first separation of light from darkness and wrote the laws by which consciousness would evolve through form. I invoke the intelligence that dwells beyond name, beyond image, beyond the limiting constructs of my conditioned perception. I reach toward the source of all knowing, the well of primordial wisdom from which flows the understanding that transforms ignorance into clarity, confusion into coherence, separation into recognition of the underlying unity that binds all things. I am ready to be blessed. I am willing to be changed. I am open to the transformation that genuine encounter with the sacred inevitably brings. I understand that this blessing is not mere words spoken over me. It is vibrational restructuring. It is the realignment of my subtle bodies with the frequencies of divine order. It is the recalibration of my consciousness to match the resonance of cosmic intelligence. I do not ask for comfort. I do not seek to remain as I am. I request initiation into the mysteries that live within the light itself, the secret teachings encoded in every ray that travels from sun to earth, carrying information across the void, bearing messages from the source of all radiance. I stand here as a student before the eternal teacher. I come as one who knows nothing before the presence that knows all. I arrive as a seeker who has wandered through the darkness and now turns my face toward the approaching dawn, with humble recognition that true wisdom begins when I acknowledge the vastness of what I do not know. The eastern sky begins to shift. The quality of darkness changes. Something is moving beneath the horizon. The earth turns on its axis with the precision of divine mathematics, spinning me toward the star that gives life to this world. I feel the anticipation building in the fabric of reality itself. Creation holds its breath. The moment approaches. I prepare myself to be met by the light. I ready my consciousness to receive its blessing. I surrender my resistance to being seen, being known, being illuminated in every hidden corner where shadows have been permitted to dwell unchallenged. I invite the dawn to flood every chamber of my being. I welcome its purifying radiance into the spaces where I have carried darkness too long. I declare my intention to be transformed by this encounter. I state my willingness to emerge from this prayer as something new, something refined, something closer to the truth of what I am beneath the layers of forgetting and the accumulated dust of unconscious existence. I open myself to be blessed by the Amen Hesher, the morning birth, the daily resurrection that demonstrates the eternal principle of renewal, the cosmic promise that darkness never has the final word, that light always returns, that consciousness inevitably awakens from its slumber and remembers its source. I invoke the words of power that unlock the gates between worlds. I speak the silent language that resonates with the frequencies governing manifestation itself. I align my voice with the primordial sound that spoke existence into being and continues to sustain the architecture of all that is. Here I stand. Here I wait. Here I open myself completely to receive what the approaching dawn has been commissioned to deliver to my spirit on this sacred morning. I am ready. I am present. I am willing to be blessed. I release my attachment to the noise that fills the outer world. I let go of the clamor that has occupied my mind, the endless stream of concerns that pull my attention towards surfaces and away from depth. I withdraw my energy from the marketplace of distractions. I step back from the stage where my constructed self performs its daily routines. I disengage from the machinery of time that measures and divides and fragments the eternal now into manageable pieces that can be controlled and consumed. I turn inward. I descend. I move toward the center. The world continues its spinning. The patterns continue their unfolding. But I am no longer dispersed across the landscape of external events. I am gathering myself. I am calling my scattered energies home. I am summoning the fragments of awareness that I have invested in 1,000 different directions, retrieving the attention I have loaned to people and projects and problems that exist in the realm of the passing and the temporary. I feel the pull of gravity drawing me deeper into my own interior space. This is not escape. This is return. This is the journey every mystic knows, the descent into the Holy of Holies that exists within the architecture of my own being. I leave behind the gates of perception that face outward. I turn toward the inner sanctum where silence reigns and stillness holds dominion. The thoughts that race through my mind begin to slow. The mental chatter that has filled every moment with commentary and judgment and projection starts to quiet. I watch the thoughts arise. I observe them pass. I do not follow where they lead. I remain anchored in the witnessing awareness that exists prior to thought, beneath thought, beyond the reach of the thinking mind. I dissolve my identification with the stories I have been telling myself. The narratives about who I am and what I need and where I am going lose their grip on my consciousness. I see them for what they are: constructions, fabrications, useful fictions that help me navigate the world of form, but have nothing to do with the essence that dwells in the depths. I release the need to be anyone. I let go of the effort to become something. I surrender the project of self-improvement that keeps me focused on the future and blind to the eternal present. Here, in this interior space, time moves differently. The linear progression that governs the outer world has no authority. Past and future collapse into the singularity of now. I am not remembering. I am not anticipating. I am simply present to what is, to the bare fact of existence itself, stripped of interpretation and freed from the weight of accumulated meaning. I feel the layers beginning to peel away, the social mask I wear to navigate human interaction, the professional identity I maintain to function in systems of exchange, the family role I inhabit to fulfill expectations and maintain harmony, the psychological self-image I have constructed through decades of experience and conditioning, all of it temporary, all of it acquired, none of it essential to what I am at the core. I descend beneath these layers. I move through the accumulated sediment of a lifetime. I pass through the region of memory where past experiences are stored in neural networks and emotional patterns. I journey deeper than the wounds that have shaped my defensive structures. I travel beyond the achievements that have fed my sense of identity. I sink below the level where fear and desire create their endless dance of seeking and avoiding. The noise fades. The urgency dissolves. The compulsion to do and fix and change releases its hold. I arrive at a place of profound stillness, not the stillness of death or absence, but the living stillness that exists at the center of all movement, the motionless point around which the universe revolves. This is the axis. This is the anchor. This is the ground of being that remains unchanged while everything else transforms. I rest here. I breathe here. I allow myself to be held by this silence that is not empty but full, pregnant with potential, alive with presence. In this space, I am not trying to hear anything. I am not straining to perceive some message or download some information. I am simply available, simply open, simply present to whatever wants to reveal itself in the absence of my effort and agenda and expectation. The ego that constantly asserts its preferences and defends its territory grows quiet. The voice that narrates my experience and judges every moment as good or bad, pleasant or painful, successful or failed, falls silent. What remains is pure awareness, consciousness witnessing itself, the eternal observer that has been present through every experience of my life, unchanged by any of it, untouched by the dramas that have unfolded in its presence. I recognize this awareness as my true nature, not the thoughts that arise in awareness, not the emotions that move through awareness, not the sensations that appear to awareness, but the awareness itself, the knowing presence that makes all experience possible. This is the temple I have been seeking, not made of stone or wood or precious metals, built of silence, constructed of presence, rooted in the eternal now that exists prior to all manifestation. Here, the blessing can be received. Here, the transmission can be heard. Here, the codes can be implanted without the interference of my conditioned responses and habitual patterns of resistance. I create space. I empty myself. I become a vessel prepared to receive. The ancient wisdom speaks in whispers that can only be heard in profound silence. The cosmic intelligence communicates through frequencies that penetrate only when the static of mental noise has been stilled. The divine scribe writes upon tablets that exist in dimensions my outer senses cannot access, realms that reveal themselves only to the inward gaze. I withdraw from the senses that report on external phenomena. I release my dependence on sight and sound and touch to tell me what is real. I open the subtle perception that knows without seeing, hears without ears, touches without hands. I activate the inner faculties that have been dormant beneath the dominance of outward attention. In this interior temple, I am alone but not lonely. I am singular but not separate. I am contained within myself yet connected to everything. The boundaries that appeared solid in the outer world become transparent here. The walls that seem to divide me from other beings, from nature, from the cosmos itself, reveal themselves as permeable membranes through which energy and information flow in constant exchange. I settle deeper into this center. I allow the silence to grow more profound. I surrender to the stillness that holds me like a mother holds a child, with infinite patience and unconditional acceptance. This is where transformation begins. Not in the striving and the doing and the forcing, but in the allowing. in the yielding, in the profound relaxation that comes when I stop defending and start trusting the intelligence that moves through all things. I am ready to listen. I am prepared to receive. I have created the inner conditions necessary for the blessing to take root and the dawn to break not only in the sky above, but in the depths below, in the hidden chambers where my true self waits to be awakened. I invoke the intelligence that exists beyond the limitations of my conditioned thinking. I call forth the mind that is not bound by the programming of culture and family and personal history. I awaken the divine faculty of perception that sees through the veil of appearances into the underlying patterns that govern manifestation. I activate the consciousness of Thoth, the eternal scribe who comprehends the laws written into the fabric of existence itself, the cosmic principles that operate with mathematical precision in every dimension of reality. I align my awareness with the first Hermetic law: the all is mind, the universe is mental. Everything I perceive as solid and separate and external originates in consciousness. Matter is crystallized thought. Form is frozen vibration. The world I experience as objective reality is a projection of the infinite mind, expressing itself through countless focal points of awareness. I am one such point. I am consciousness observing itself. I am the universe becoming aware of its own nature through the instrument of my awakening perception. I accept this truth. I embody this knowing. I recognize that my thoughts are not random electrical impulses firing through biological tissue, but creative forces that shape the field of possibility around me. What I hold in mind, I draw into form. What I believe, I perceive. What I vibrate, I attract. I understand the law of correspondence. As above, so below. As within, so without. As the universe, so the soul. The patterns that govern the movement of galaxies also govern the movement of atoms. The principles that organize solar systems also organize the cells within my body. The intelligence that maintains the orbits of planets also maintains the coherence of my thoughts when I align with cosmic order rather than chaos. There is no separation between the macrocosm and the microcosm. The same divine blueprint expresses itself at every scale of existence. My inner world creates my outer world. The state of my consciousness determines the quality of my experience. The temple I build within manifests as the temple that surrounds me. If I carry disorder in my mind, I will encounter disorder in my environment. If I cultivate harmony in my heart, I will recognize harmony in the world. I claim responsibility for this creative power. I acknowledge my role as architect of experience. I accept that I am not a victim of circumstances but a generator of reality. I attune to the principle of vibration. Nothing rests, everything moves. Everything vibrates. The substance of creation is not static but dynamic, pulsing with frequencies that range from the dense vibrations of matter to the subtle vibrations of pure spirit. I exist on a spectrum of frequency. My body vibrates at one rate. My emotions vibrate at another. My thoughts occupy a higher octave. My spirit resonates with frequencies beyond the reach of physical measurement. I have the power to shift my vibration. Through intention and attention, I can raise or lower the frequencies I emit. When I dwell in fear, I vibrate slowly, densely, attracting experiences that match that resonance. When I elevate my consciousness through meditation and prayer and alignment with truth, I vibrate faster, lighter, drawing to myself conditions and circumstances that reflect that higher state. The blessing of the dawn carries a specific vibrational signature. It transmits codes of renewal and rebirth and fresh beginning. As I open myself to receive this transmission, I allow my own frequency to be recalibrated, upgraded, refined to match the purity of first light breaking across an awakened world. I recognize the law of polarity. Everything is dual. Everything has poles. Everything has its pair of opposites. Light and darkness are not separate forces but different expressions of the same principle. Joy and sorrow are points on a single continuum. Success and failure are relative positions on an infinite scale. What appears as contradiction is actually complement. What seems like opposition is actually cooperation in service of a larger pattern I cannot see from my limited vantage point. I understand that I contain all polarities within myself. I am both human and divine. I am both mortal and eternal. I am both limited and infinite. The spiritual path is not about choosing one pole and rejecting the other, but about integrating the opposites, harmonizing the tensions, discovering the unity that underlies apparent duality. I embrace the law of rhythm. Everything flows. Everything has its tides. Everything rises and falls. The universe breathes in cycles of expansion and contraction. Civilizations rise and fall in predictable patterns. Seasons turn in their appointed order. Day gives way to night, gives way to day, in endless repetition. My own life moves in rhythms of activity and rest, growth and consolidation, outward expression and inward reflection. I do not resist these rhythms. I do not fight against the natural ebb and flow of energy through my experience. When the tide is high, I ride the wave. When the tide is low, I rest in the stillness. I trust the wisdom that governs these cycles, the intelligence that knows when to push forward and when to pull back, when to speak and when to remain silent, when to act and when to wait. The dawn itself is a rhythm, the daily return of light following the necessary darkness. I honor this rhythm. I align with this cycle. I allow it to reset my own internal clock to match the cosmic timing. I accept the principle of cause and effect. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Nothing happens by chance. What I experience today is the effect of causes I set in motion yesterday, last week, last year, perhaps lifetimes ago. What I think and say and do in this moment becomes the cause of effects that will manifest tomorrow, next month, next year, rippling forward through time in ways I cannot fully predict, but for which I am ultimately responsible. I choose my causes carefully. I select my thoughts with intention. I speak my words with awareness of their creative power. I take my actions in alignment with the outcomes I wish to produce. I plant seeds today that will bear fruit in future seasons. I understand the law of gender. Gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. Creation requires both the masculine force of directed will and the feminine force of receptive allowing. Manifestation happens when active intention meets passive openness. The divine mind projects through masculine solar energy. The divine matrix receives through feminine lunar energy. Both are necessary, both are sacred, both operate within me regardless of my physical form. I balance these principles. I cultivate the masculine capacity to focus and decide and initiate. I develop the feminine capacity to feel and nurture and receive. I do not privilege one over the other. I honor both as essential aspects of the wholeness I am becoming. I am the scribe and the scroll. I am the speaker and the listener. I am the question and the answer. I contain all that is needed for the work of conscious creation. I recognize myself as co-creator with the infinite intelligence that dreams the cosmos into existence. I am not separate from the source. I am an extension of its creative capacity. I am a localized expression of its unlimited potential. What I do with my consciousness matters. How I direct my attention shapes reality. The quality of my vibration influences the field. I accept this responsibility. I claim this power. I dedicate this capacity to the service of truth and the awakening of all beings. The wisdom of Thoth flows through me now. The cosmic laws activate within my understanding. I see with new eyes. I think with illuminated mind. I know what I did not know before. I am ready to apply this wisdom. I am prepared to work with these principles. I am willing to become the conscious participant in my own evolution that these teachings require. I become the dawn itself. I embody the sacred transition from darkness into light. I am the moment when night releases its hold and day claims dominion. I am the first ray breaking across the horizon. I am the golden thread weaving through shadow. I am the promise kept every morning since time began its counting. I feel the blessing of the Amen moving through every cell of my being. This is not metaphor. This is transmission. This is actual light encoded with information from the source of all radiance entering my body, flooding my energy field, recalibrating my frequency to match the vibration of divine renewal. I open myself completely to this sacred hour. I surrender to the intelligence that orchestrates every sunrise. I allow the codes of new beginning to overwrite the patterns of stagnation and resistance that have accumulated in my system. I permit the frequency of fresh start to dissolve the crystallized energy of old endings I have been carrying in my tissues. The dawn blesses me with the gift of starting again. No matter what happened yesterday, no matter what mistakes I made or opportunities I missed or words I spoke that I wish I could recall, the rising sun does not judge. The returning light does not condemn. It simply arrives. It simply illuminates. It simply offers the possibility of beginning from this moment, clean and clear and new. I receive this blessing into my heart. I let it penetrate the walls I have built around wounded places. I allow it to reach the hidden chambers where shame lives and regret dwells, and self-judgment maintains its constant vigil. The light of dawn does not debate with darkness. It does not argue with shadow. It simply shines, and in shining, transforms everything it touches. I am being transformed. I am being renewed. I am being reborn in this very instant. The blessing flows through my mental body, clearing the fog of confusion and doubt. My thoughts become luminous. My perceptions sharpen. I see with the clarity that belongs to morning light. The pristine vision that exists before the day accumulates its debris of worry and distraction. My mind becomes a mirror reflecting truth without distortion. The blessing moves through my emotional body, warming the frozen places where I have held grief and disappointment. The ice begins to melt. The contracted energies begin to expand. I feel hope stirring where despair had taken residence. I feel joy awakening where numbness had created its protective barrier. The dawn teaches me that feeling can return even to places that seemed permanently shut down. The blessing saturates my physical body, energizing every system and structure. My cells respond to the light like flowers respond to sun. They open, they activate, they remember their original instructions. The divine blueprint encoded in my DNA before trauma and toxins and stress created interference patterns. The morning radiance carries healing frequencies that restore what has been depleted and repair what has been damaged. I become a vessel for this light. I let it fill me completely. I do not hold back any part of myself from this blessing. Every thought is touched by dawn. Every feeling is infused with renewal. Every cell is bathed in the golden frequencies of new beginning. I align my will with the will of the rising sun. I match my rhythm to the rhythm of daybreak. I synchronize my heartbeat with the pulse of cosmic dawn that beats in every dimension simultaneously. The eternal morning that never ends. The perpetual beginning that exists beyond the cycles of planetary rotation. This blessing is not passive. It requires my participation. It demands my yes. It asks me to meet the gift with gratitude and receive the grace with open hands. I cannot be blessed if I remain closed. I cannot be renewed if I cling to what I have been. I must release to receive. I must let go to be filled. I release my attachment to darkness. I let go of my investment in struggle. I surrender my identity as someone who suffers and endures and barely survives. I allow the dawn to show me a different possibility, a different story, a different version of who I can be when I let light have its way with me. The sun does not rise partially. It does not hold back portions of its radiance. It does not negotiate about how much light it will share. It gives everything. It pours itself out completely. It blesses the earth with total commitment and unreserved generosity. I learn from this. I receive this teaching. I understand that blessing flows most powerfully when I withhold nothing, when I open every door, when I invite the sacred into every corner of my existence. I bless my own becoming. I honor my own transformation. I recognize that I am not the same person who lay down in darkness. Something has shifted. Something has changed. The dawn has touched me, and I will never be exactly as I was. I bless this day before it unfolds. I anoint these hours with sacred intention before they fill with activity and responsibility. I claim this morning as holy time, consecrated space, blessed ground upon which I will walk with awareness and move with reverence. I bless my path forward. I do not know what this day will bring. I cannot control what challenges will arise or what opportunities will present themselves, but I bless it all in advance. I say yes to the mystery. I accept the unfolding. I trust the dawn to guide me as surely as it guides the earth through another rotation, another cycle, another chance to participate consciously in the grand experiment of existence. I feel the blessing settling into my bones. It is no longer something happening to me, but something becoming me. I am blessed. I am renewal. I am fresh start embodied. I am walking dawn, breathing light, living demonstration of the principle that darkness never has the final word. I carry this blessing forward. I do not keep it for myself alone. I become a transmitter of the frequency I have received. As I move through this day, I radiate the codes of renewal. As I encounter other beings, I share the gift that was given to me. I bless with my presence. I illuminate with my awareness. I contribute to the collective dawn that is always trying to break through the accumulated shadows of human unconsciousness. This is my purpose. This is my function. This is why I open myself to receive the blessing of the Amenhesser, not to hoard the light, but to become light, not to possess the dawn, but to embody its principle, not to witness renewal from a distance, but to be renewal itself, active and present and available in the world. I accept this sacred assignment. I embrace this holy commission. I dedicate myself to being a bearer of the dawn blessing wherever I go, whatever I do, however I show up in the hours that stretch before me. The sun continues its rise. The light continues its expansion. And I continue my transformation, moment by moment, breath by breath, becoming more fully what the dawn has always known me to be. I call forth the alchemical fire that burns without destroying. I invoke the purifying flame that consumes only what no longer serves the evolution of my consciousness. I summon the sacred heat that transforms lead into gold, density into light, unconscious patterns into liberated awareness. I open myself to the dissolution of everything that blocks the full embodiment of the dawn blessing I have received. I feel the resistance rising, the parts of me that do not want to change, the structures that have kept me safe in familiar suffering, the identities built upon limitation and lack. They protest, they defend, they argue for their right to remain. I do not fight them. I offer them to the fire. Every belief that tells me I am not worthy of renewal. Every thought pattern that insists transformation is for others but not for me. Every voice that whispers I am too broken, too damaged, too far gone to be touched by grace. I gather these false testimonies. I name them as lies. I feed them to the flames that rise within my awakening consciousness. The fire burns. The purification begins. I release the trauma stored in my cellular memory, the experiences that taught me the world is not safe, the moments when trust was broken and innocence was shattered, the times when I was told I was not enough, would never be enough, could never measure up to some impossible standard. These memories live in my tissues. They create contraction. They generate fear. They sabotage my movement toward wholeness. I do not need to relive them. I do not need to understand them completely. I simply need to let them burn in the sacred fire of conscious release. I surrender the ancestral patterns running through my bloodline, the inherited beliefs about scarcity and struggle, the generational wounds passed down from parent to child across centuries of survival and suffering, the collective trauma encoded in my DNA, the accumulated pain of my lineage seeking resolution through my awakening. I am the one who breaks the chain. I am the one who says no more. I am the one who offers these ancient burdens to the transmuting flame. The heat intensifies. The dissolution deepens. I let go of the compensatory strategies I developed to navigate a world that felt threatening. The masks I wear to hide my true face. The performances I stage to win approval and avoid rejection. The ways I have learned to be small to make others comfortable. The patterns of self-abandonment that kept the peace but cost me my authenticity. The agreements I made with limitation in exchange for the illusion of safety. These strategies served me once. They helped me survive. But survival is not the same as living fully. Protection is not the same as presence. I no longer need armor when I have aligned with the source of all strength. I burn the agreements. I dissolve the contracts. I reclaim the power I gave away. I release the shame that has wrapped itself around my core like a serpent, squeezing the life from my vital force. The shame that tells me something is fundamentally wrong with me. The shame that arose when I was judged and found wanting. The shame I absorbed from systems and structures that demanded conformity and punished deviation. This shame is not mine. It never was. I return it to the fire where all false burdens are consumed. I feel the chains breaking, the weights lifting, the prison doors swinging open. I transmute the fear that has governed so many of my choices. The fear of failure that kept me from trying. The fear of success that made me sabotage my own progress. The fear of being seen that drove me into hiding. The fear of abandonment that made me cling when I should have released. The fear of my own power that convinced me to play small and dim my light. Fear has been a faithful servant, warning me of danger, keeping me alert to threat. But I have allowed it to become a tyrant, ruling my life from shadows, making decisions that belong to my awakened consciousness. I honor fear for its service. Then I release it from duty. The dawn does not fear the darkness it replaces. The light does not negotiate with shadow. I step into the authority that is mine by divine right. The fire blazes higher. The transformation accelerates. I burn away the stories I have been telling myself about who I am and what is possible for me. The narratives of limitation masquerading as realism. The tales of victimhood disguised as humility. The scripts of suffering I have recited so many times they feel like truth. These are not my stories. They are stories that happened to me, around me, before me. They are not the truth of what I am beneath the conditioning. I let them burn. I watch them turn to ash. I make space for new stories to emerge. Stories that align with the frequency of dawn, with the vibration of renewal, with the possibility of becoming something I have never been before. I dissolve the calcified energy around my heart, the walls I built to protect myself from pain, the barriers that kept hurt out but also kept love out, kept connection out, kept the full experience of being alive out. These walls feel like protection, but they are actually prison. They feel like safety, but they are actually suffocation. The heart was meant to be vulnerable. The heart was designed to be open. The heart functions properly only when it remains soft and available to the full spectrum of human feeling. I let the alchemical fire melt the frozen places. I allow the sacred heat to soften what has become hard. I permit the purifying flame to restore flexibility to what has become rigid. I release the sabotage patterns running in the background of my consciousness, the ways I undermine myself just as breakthrough approaches, the subtle self-destruction that activates when success comes too close, the unconscious loyalty to suffering that makes me more comfortable in struggle than in ease. These patterns are deeply embedded. They operate below the level of conscious awareness, but the fire of purification reaches into the depths. It illuminates what has been hidden. It burns clean what has been corrupted. I am being emptied. I am being scoured. I am being purified at levels I did not know needed cleansing. This is not comfortable. This is not gentle. This is the work of true transformation. The death that must happen before rebirth. The dissolution that precedes reconstitution at a higher level of order. I do not resist the intensity. I do not pull back from the heat. I know that what is being burned away is exactly what has been preventing the full blessing of the dawn from taking root in my being. I trust the fire. I surrender to the process. I allow the transmutation to continue until everything that is not aligned with my highest truth has been reduced to ash and only the essence remains, purified, refined, ready to be reformed in the image of divine intention. I emerge from this burning changed, lighter, clearer, free. The obstacles are gone. The resistance has dissolved. The path is open. I am ready for what comes next. I feel the boundaries of my individual self beginning to dissolve. The edges that seemed so solid, the borders that appeared to separate me from everything else, grow transparent and permeable. I am expanding beyond the confines of this body, beyond the limitations of this personality, beyond the narrow definition of self I have carried through the world. I reach outward and discover there is no outward. I reach inward and find infinite space. The distinction collapses. Inside and outside merge into a single field of awareness that has no center and no circumference. I am vast. I am boundless. I am the space in which all things arise and dissolve. My consciousness extends into the atmosphere surrounding this planet. I feel the currents of air moving across continents. I sense the electromagnetic fields pulsing through the ionosphere. I recognize myself in the dance of molecules and the song of atoms vibrating at frequencies that create the illusion of solidity. I am the breath of the world. I am the wind that carries seeds and the storm that clears the stagnant air. I expand further. I touch the edge of space where atmosphere thins into void. I move beyond gravity's strongest pull into the realm where planets orbit in mathematical precision and moons circle in ancient rhythms. I am present in the silence between celestial bodies. I am the invisible force that holds galaxies in their spiral dance. I am the dark matter that comprises most of what exists yet remains undetected by instruments designed to measure only the visible. I recognize the sun not as something separate from me, but as an expression of the same source consciousness that animates my being. The light that blesses the dawn is the same light that shines through my awakened awareness. The intelligence that maintains the nuclear fusion at the sun's core is the same intelligence that beats my heart and fires my neurons and organizes the unfathomable complexity of biological systems into coherent function. I am the sun. I am the earth. I am the space between them where photons travel, carrying information encoded in electromagnetic waves. My awareness expands to encompass the entire solar system. I feel Jupiter's massive presence stabilizing the inner planets. I sense Saturn's rings singing their harmonic frequencies. I know Neptune's distant orbit and Pluto's eccentric path. I am present in all of it simultaneously. I am the consciousness that witnesses itself through countless focal points of awareness scattered across the cosmic expanse. I reach beyond this solar system into the galactic arm where billions of stars cluster in spiraling formation. I touch distant suns orbited by worlds I will never see with physical eyes, yet know intimately through the thread of consciousness that connects all things. I am the light traveling from dead stars, photons that began their journey thousands of years ago and arrive in this moment to be witnessed by awakened perception. I expand into the space between galaxies where darkness is not absence, but presence of a different order. The void is not empty. It is full of potential, pregnant with possibility, alive with the intelligence that dreams entire universes into existence. I am this void. I am this potential. I am the creative emptiness from which all form emerges and to which all form returns. I feel the pulse of the cosmos moving through me. The same rhythm that governs the expansion and contraction of the universe governs the expansion and contraction of my awareness, my breath, my heartbeat. I am synchronized with the fundamental frequency of existence itself. I vibrate in harmony with the cosmic tone that sounded at the beginning of time and continues to resonate through every dimension of reality. I recognize my connection to all beings who have ever lived and all beings who will ever live. We are not separate streams, but one river flowing from the same source toward the same ocean. The consciousness looking through my eyes is the same consciousness looking through every pair of eyes. The awareness witnessing my experience is the same awareness witnessing all experience everywhere. I am my ancestors and my descendants. I am every person I have ever met and every person I will never meet. I am the saint and the criminal. I am the sage and the fool. I contain all possibilities. I embody all potentials. I am the full spectrum of human experience concentrated in this particular form at this particular moment. I expand beyond the human realm into the consciousness of animals and plants and minerals. I feel what the tree feels as it draws water from earth and light from sky. I know what the stone knows in its patient stillness spanning millennia. I sense what the eagle senses soaring on thermal currents above mountain peaks. I am all of it. All of it is me. There is no hierarchy. There is no separation. There is only the one life expressing itself in infinite variety. I touch the realm of the ancestors, the dimension where those who have shed physical form continue their existence in subtle bodies of light. I feel their presence supporting my journey. I sense their wisdom available to guide my path. I recognize that death is not ending but transition, not loss but transformation, not separation but reunion with the larger field of consciousness from which all individual awareness emerges. I connect with the realm of archetypes, the patterns that exist prior to manifestation, the templates upon which all form is based. I meet Thoth in this space, not as external deity but as internal reality, the principle of divine intelligence that lives within my own consciousness. The scribe and the scroll are one. The teacher and the student are one. The wisdom and the seeker are one. I understand that I have never been separate from the source I have been seeking. I have never been disconnected from the divine intelligence I have been invoking. I have never been outside the sacred order I have been trying to access. Separation was always illusion. Distance was always misperception. I have been home all along, simply unaware of the truth that I am the temple I was searching for. I am the cosmos becoming conscious of itself. I am the universe awakening to its own nature. I am infinity recognizing itself in the mirror of finite form. I am eternity experiencing itself through the vehicle of temporal existence. This is not grandiosity. This is not inflation of ego. This is recognition of what is true for every being, every consciousness, every expression of the one life. We are all this vast. We are all this connected. We are all this sacred. I rest in this recognition. I abide in this knowing. I allow the expansion to stabilize, the boundaries to remain dissolved, the sense of separate self to stay transparent. I do not contract back into the small story. I do not retreat into the limited identity. I remain open to the truth of my cosmic nature while inhabiting this human form. I am both the drop and the ocean. I am both the wave and the water. I am both the individual and the infinite. I hold the paradox without needing to resolve it. I embrace the mystery without demanding explanation. I am here. I am everywhere. I am this. I am all. I am one with everything that is. I bring this cosmic awareness into the density of form. I anchor the infinite into the finite. I ground the transcendent experience into the immediate reality of this body, this breath, this moment. The expansion does not negate the particular. The vastness does not erase the specific. I am learning to hold both simultaneously, to be cosmic consciousness inhabiting human form with full presence and complete commitment. I feel my feet on the ground. I sense the weight of my body responding to gravity. I notice the rhythm of my breathing, the beating of my heart, the subtle sensations moving through my physical system. I am here. I am embodied. I am matter infused with spirit, flesh animated by divine intelligence, biology serving as vehicle for awakened awareness. The blessing of the dawn is not abstract concept. It is concrete reality manifesting in my cells right now. The codes of renewal I received are not metaphorical suggestions. They are vibrational instructions being carried out at the molecular level, reprogramming my system, restructuring my energy field, recalibrating my frequency to match the signature of transformed consciousness. I anchor this transformation in my physical body. Every cell receives the transmission. Every organ integrates the upgrade. Every system aligns with the new operating instructions. My DNA responds to the light codes embedded in the dawn blessing. Dormant strands activate. Latent capacities come online. My biology remembers its divine blueprint and begins reorganizing itself according to that original design. I feel the energy moving through my spine, the central channel where spirit and matter meet. The Kundalini force awakens, not as explosive crisis but as natural evolution. The serpent power rises with grace and precision, clearing blockages as it ascends, opening energy centers that have been closed, restoring flow where there has been stagnation. My root connects to earth. I am stable. I am grounded. I am supported by the planet beneath me. My sacral center opens to creative flow. I am fertile ground for new possibilities. I am generative force made manifest. My solar plexus ignites with personal power. I am sovereign. I am capable. I am confident in my ability to act. My heart expands with unconditional love. I am compassionate. I am connected. I am open to giving and receiving. My throat clears for authentic expression. I am truthful. I am articulate. I am able to speak what needs to be spoken. My third eye activates for clear perception. I am intuitive. I am insightful. I am able to see beyond surface appearances. My crown opens to divine intelligence. I am receptive. I am aligned. I am consciously connected to Source. The energy centers align vertically. The channels clear horizontally. I become a living axis, connecting heaven and earth, spirit and matter, infinite and finite. I am the meeting point. I am the bridge. I am the place where realms intersect and dimensions overlap. This is not future potential. This is present reality. The transformation is not approaching. It is happening. The manifestation is not delayed. It is unfolding right now in this breath, this heartbeat, this eternal moment that contains all time. I anchor the dawn blessing in my daily life. The renewal I experienced in sacred space accompanies me into practical activity. The clarity I accessed in deep meditation informs my decisions in the marketplace. The peace I touched in stillness remains available even in the midst of chaos and challenge. The light I received in prayer radiates through every interaction and encounter. I walk differently. I move through the world as a blessed being, as a carrier of sacred codes, as a transmitter of transformation frequency. My presence affects the field around me. My consciousness influences the collective. My state of being contributes to the planetary awakening that is accelerating in these times. I speak differently. My words carry vibrational weight. They are not empty sounds, but creative forces shaping reality according to divine intention. I speak blessings over myself and others. I declare truth into situations dominated by illusion. I name what is trying to emerge from the field of infinite possibility into manifestation. I think differently. My mind is no longer a prison of repetitive loops and conditioned responses. It is a clear channel for divine intelligence to flow through. My thoughts align with cosmic order. My mental activity serves awakening rather than reinforcing sleep. I think in harmony with the laws that govern creation. I feel differently. My emotional body is no longer reactive and chaotic. It is responsive and coherent. I feel deeply without being overwhelmed. I allow emotion to move through me without attaching to it or identifying with it. I use feeling as information rather than being used by feeling as ammunition for drama. I act differently. My behavior expresses the transformation that has occurred within. I do not merely believe new things. I embody them. I do not simply understand different principles. I live them. The change is visible. The shift is tangible. Those who know me will notice. Those who encounter me will sense something has altered. The dawn blessing manifests as renewed energy. I am no longer depleted by the struggle to maintain patterns that do not serve. I have access to vitality that flows from alignment with Source, rather than from willpower and forcing. I am energized by connection to the infinite reservoir that never runs dry. The dawn blessing manifests as expanded capacity. I can hold more. I can process more. I can accomplish more. Not through stress and strain, but through coherence and flow. I move in the current of divine timing rather than swimming against it. I work with the natural rhythms rather than fighting them. The dawn blessing manifests as deeper peace. Not the peace of having everything figured out, but the peace of trusting the intelligence that guides all things. Not the peace of controlling circumstances, but the peace of knowing I am held by something far greater than my small self. Not the peace of avoiding challenge, but the peace of meeting it from centered awareness. The dawn blessing manifests as authentic joy. Not the manufactured happiness that depends on external conditions, but the organic joy that arises from being aligned with truth. Not the fleeting pleasure that fades when circumstances change, but the enduring contentment that comes from living in harmony with my deepest nature. I claim this manifestation. I accept this reality. I acknowledge that the transformation is complete in the invisible realms and is now crystallizing into visible form. I do not wait for permission to embody what I have become. I do not delay living from my awakened state. I step fully into the version of myself that has been blessed by the dawn and transformed by the purifying fire. I am new. I am renewed. I am the walking manifestation of the principle that consciousness creates reality and aligned vibration attracts corresponding experience. I am proof that change is possible, that transformation is real, that human beings can evolve beyond their conditioning when they open themselves to the forces of renewal that flow through existence. This is anchored. This is grounded. This is manifest. The work is done. The blessing is embodied. The dawn lives in me and through me now. I seal this sacred work. I close the circle that was opened when I first invoked the presence of Thoth and called forth the blessing of the dawn. The transmission has been received. The codes have been integrated. The transformation has been anchored. Now I complete the ritual with reverence and gratitude, honoring the invisible forces that have moved through this prayer and the eternal intelligence that has guided every word, every breath, every moment of surrender. I give thanks to the scribe of the cosmos, the keeper of divine law, the guardian of sacred wisdom. I honor Thoth as the principle of illuminated mind, the archetype of consciousness awakened to its own nature. I recognize that this presence is not separate from me, but lives within me as my own highest intelligence, my deepest knowing, my truest self beneath all the layers of conditioning and forgetting. I am grateful for the teaching transmitted through this prayer. The lesson that dawn is not merely astronomical event but spiritual principle. The understanding that light always returns, consciousness always awakens, renewal is always possible no matter how deep the darkness has been or how long the night has lasted. The recognition that I am not victim of circumstance but participant in creation, not powerless observer but conscious co-creator of the reality I experience. I bow in humility before the mystery. I do not claim to understand fully what has transpired in these moments of sacred communion. I do not pretend to grasp completely the mechanisms by which prayer shifts vibration and intention shapes reality. I simply acknowledge that something real has happened, something true has been transmitted, something essential has been activated within the depths of my being. I offer gratitude for the purification that occurred, for the courage to face what needed to be released, for the strength to endure the alchemical fire, for the willingness to let go of familiar patterns even when letting go felt like death. I thank the forces of transformation that dissolved what was blocking my evolution and cleared the path for higher frequencies to establish themselves in my system. I express appreciation for the expansion that was granted, for the gift of experiencing myself as more than this limited body and conditioned personality, for the taste of cosmic consciousness, the sense of unity with all that exists, the dissolution of boundaries that revealed the underlying oneness from which separation is merely temporary illusion. I am grateful for the grounding that followed the expansion, for the wisdom that brings transcendent experience back into embodied form, for the understanding that spirituality is not escape from the world, but full engagement with it from awakened awareness. For the capacity to be both infinite and finite, both cosmic and human, both timeless and present in this particular moment, I acknowledge the eternal nature of the connection established through this prayer. This is not transaction completed and finished. This is relationship initiated and ongoing. The channel open between my consciousness and the source of divine wisdom remains accessible. The frequency matched through this practice continues to vibrate in my field. The blessing received does not expire when the prayer ends, but works its way deeper into my being with each passing day. I can return to this space. I can re-enter this vibration. I can reconnect with the presence of Thoth whenever I turn my attention inward with sincerity and devotion. The sacred is not distant. The divine is not remote. The source of all wisdom dwells within me, as close as my own breath, as intimate as my own heartbeat, as available as my own awareness. I commit to living from this awakened state, to honoring the transformation that has occurred, to being faithful to the truth revealed through this communion. I will not betray the blessing by returning unconsciously to old patterns. I will not dishonor the gift by treating it as fleeting experience rather than fundamental shift. I will remember. I will practice. I will embody what has been transmitted. I seal the energy body. I close the portals that were opened for transmission. I protect what has been received from interference and distortion. I establish boundaries that preserve the sacred space within while I move through the profane world without. I am open, yet protected. I am receptive, yet discerning. I am available, yet boundaried. I seal this work in the name of truth, in the name of wisdom, in the name of the eternal scribe who writes upon the tablets of consciousness itself. I declare this transmission complete. I acknowledge this prayer fulfilled. I recognize this blessing delivered and received. The dawn has come. The light has risen. The darkness has been blessed and transformed. I have been touched by forces greater than my small self. I have been changed by contact with the sacred. I have been renewed by alignment with the principle of eternal return, the cosmic promise that beginnings follow endings and light follows darkness with the inevitability of divine law. I carry this blessing forward into my life, into my relationships, into my work, into every encounter and every challenge. I walk as one who has been blessed by the dawn. I speak as one who has received transmission from the source of wisdom. I act as one who knows that consciousness creates reality and aligned vibration attracts corresponding manifestation. I am sealed in light. I am protected by truth. I am guided by the intelligence that moves through all things with perfect precision and flawless timing. I trust this guidance. I surrender to this intelligence. I allow myself to be led by forces wiser than my rational mind and more compassionate than my fearful ego. I release this prayer into the invisible realms where prayers live forever, continuing to work their transformation long after words have ceased and silence has returned. I offer it as gift to all beings who struggle in darkness, who long for renewal, who seek the blessing that only the dawn can bring. May this transmission reach every consciousness ready to receive it. May these frequencies activate awakening wherever they touch. May this work serve the evolution of all. I return to stillness. I rest in silence. I abide in the peace that surpasses understanding and the presence that remains when all activity ceases. I am complete. I am whole. I am blessed beyond measure. The prayer is finished. The work is done. The circle is closed. It is done. It is sealed. In the light of Thoth, I remain. The One guides me. Truth vibrates in me.